As I crossed the threshold, my daughter's voice cut through the air like a blade, sharp and cold. "Don't worry, Mom. Dad's too spineless to act." She knew I was there. That was deliberate. "Exactly," my wife replied, her lips twisting into a sly grin. They stood near the entrance, suitcases unzipped, half-filled. The low hum of her lover's car engine purred outside, a signal of what was to come. I didn't react. No yelling, no questions. I just reached into my jacket. 2 documents, one for each. I handed my wife a court order, a legal barricade freezing all our shared accounts and assets. Not a penny would slip through her fingers. Then I turned to my daughter, 18 for barely 2 months, though she'd forgotten that milestone. I gave her an eviction notice. "You both have one day," I said, my voice steady. The silence that followed was heavier than any outburst. My daughter's eyes flickered first. My wife's smirk faded, her face tightening as she stared at the paper like it was venomous. I walked to the kitchen, poured a glass of whiskey, and didn't glance back. You think 2 decades together, shared tears, laughter, a home loan, a child, build something unbreakable. But some people don't want connection. They want control. My wife started slipping away years ago. Late nights stretched longer. Intimacy became a routine. Her phone turned into a vault. I didn't press her. I thought it was temporary. I believed my steadiness could mend it. She saw my restraint as fragility. And my daughter, God, that wound still burns. She used to cling to me, her small hands around my neck, whispering, "You're my hero, Daddy." I held that memory as she helped her mother pack. Blood doesn't promise devotion. Only actions do. 3 months ago, I found the emails. Careless ones. She'd grown reckless, cocky. I read every line, every hotel confirmation, every photo hidden in digital folders. I didn't confront her. Instead, I opened a new bank account, redirected my paycheck, canceled our shared credit cards, hired a lawyer who thrived on discreet battles. I installed cameras in the house, subtle enough to record, never enough to raise suspicion. I observed. I waited. When my daughter stopped saying goodnight and started using my first name, I knew where her allegiance lay. Loyalty is silent. So is treachery. But I didn't crumble. I strategized. She thought the house was half hers. She thought the accounts were too. She mistook my quiet for defeat. She didn't know I'd gathered evidence, screenshots, texts, videos, enough to devastate her in court. She didn't know I'd used my inheritance to buy out her share of the house months earlier, all legal, all calculated. She didn't know the credit card she used for her trysts was in my name until a fraud investigation landed at her door, complete with a detective's card. She didn't know our daughter, now legally an adult, was a tenant in my home. When the reality hit, when the consequences sank in, I was untouchable. My wife tried to argue, her voice rising, accusing me of destroying our family. I sipped my drink. "You already did that." She stormed out. My daughter stared, stunned, as if I'd sprouted claws. "What do I do now?" she asked. "Choose better," I said. "Start today." They were gone before the day was up. Her lover stayed in his car, eyes fixed on the dashboard, never stepping inside. My wife took 3 bags. My daughter took 1. The rest stayed, like the trust I once had in them. I changed the locks. The house is still now. Calm. No deceit. No murmurs. I come home to quiet, and it feels like liberation. My lawyer says the divorce is moving cleanly. She'll fight, naturally. But courts don't favor cheaters who commit financial deceit. The evidence speaks louder than any defense. My daughter texted a week later, "Can we talk?" I looked at the message, then erased it. You don't get to stab me and ask why I'm wounded. Revenge doesn't need noise. It doesn't require chaos or fists. Sometimes it's a steady hand holding a devastating truth. Sometimes it's watching them leave with nothing while you hold everything they thought they'd steal. I was never spineless. I was patient. And patience, when betrayed, turns to precision. Precision wins battles. Precision ends stories. And I ended this one perfectly.